Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and I'm going to do your July the 21st spiritual principle a day in a meditation. I hope you're doing well this morning. Let's go ahead and get into that meditation. The title of the meditation for today is Freedom to Heal. Gradually, we come to experience freedom from some of our deepest wounds as we begin to clear up some of the confusion and contradiction in our lives. We can move forward with less of the baggage we brought in with us. That comes from the Living Clean book, chapter 4, Sex. Freedom for any recovering addict begins with not using. But as the fog lifts, our emotional turmoil becomes more apparent. To stay clean, we need a different approach to deal with our underlying issues. We understand we can be free from active addiction, but can we be free from our deepest wounds? We'd love that answer to be a resounding absolutely. And for some, it will be. But for many of us who've suffered traumas and abuse, the more realistic answer is we can heal. We can move forward. We can gain more freedom than we have today. Recovery from addiction is a process, and so is letting go of the baggage, especially the burdens we never asked for, and no doubt the ones we inflicted on others. The process can be fierce, terrifying, sometimes beautiful, often unexpected. We gain freedom from working steps and sharing about our past with each other. We get relief through meditation and prayer, perhaps through outside help, through the passage of time and patience with ourselves. We try not to avoid or disconnect from painful memories. Instead, we deal with our baggage as best we can and realize that some of what we've been carrying isn't ours. We come to some acceptance and healing, finding forgiveness for ourselves for not letting go. And equally as important, we help others do the same. While some wounds may never fully heal, they don't overwhelm us today. They don't run our lives or our relationships with others, with our bodies, and with the world. We can learn how to relate to others and respond to their needs without sacrificing our own. We can be vulnerable and explore physical and emotional intimacy. We can find freedom, lose it a little, and regain it by digging in again. My pain doesn't define me, and I can use it to help someone else heal. I will find both refuge and freedom in the steps and in my fellow addict. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Freedom to heal. This topic is a powerful meditation for me because as I'm reading it, I'm actually thinking about some of the things that when I first came to the program, I did not think I would ever be free of. And I was reflecting on those things. And as I was reflecting on them, I remember the very first time I heard the word contradiction in relationship to how I was actually processing things, the way that I was experiencing my own trauma, and how on some days I would be able to be very spiritual minded. However, on other days, I would be not so spiritual minded and my actions would show it. And I was talking about my contradictions, right? How um, it just seemed like I was flip flopping all over the place. And I was realizing that I have this internal contradiction going on, this conflict going on. And the conflict was whether or not I wanted to let it go and allow myself to begin to heal from this stuff, or whether or not I wanted to hoard my pain and hold on to it. At some point in time, I figured out that I wanted to let it go. The experience that I was having of being able to share with other addicts and listen to their input when they would share their own experience, strength, and hope, that I was actually benefiting and becoming a better human being. And I wanted that more than I wanted the angry, violent individual. And it took some time for me to come away from that internal conflict and become more integrated. But eventually I was able to become more integrated and more settled within my spirit, that those experiences, all of those hurts and pains no longer defined me, that my recovery was defining me. My relationship with God was defining me. And that's what I wanted to run with. I want that to be my story, that to be the way things, the parameters of my life. I wanted it to lie within the recovery parameters, the relationship that I had with God. I wanted that deeply, but it took work. It didn't come overnight, and it took work. And I was committed to it, and I'm still committed to it. So today, we're going to be looking at how your pain at one time defined you compared to where you are in your recovery today. If you're finding that it is still defining you, it is still the main piece of your thought, your main piece of conversation, um, everything that you have going on in your world is being processed from the lens of the traumatic life that you experienced, there's probably more healing to take place. But in some instances, it's just making up your mind not to let all of that control you. We have the freedom to heal today. You know, there's this thing where individuals that survive certain situations and they have the experience of knowing others that did not survive them, literally did not survive those situations, called survivor's guilt. And sometimes survivor's guilt stops an individual from being able to experience the beauty of their lives that they've been given, blessed with, right? Because they're so consumed with the fact that, why did I make it and they did not? I shouldn't have this life. And so what happens sometimes when a person has the opportunity to heal from all of those past traumas, they will choose not to, unconsciously now, they will choose not to heal from them because they feel guilty. They don't feel worthy of the healing. But I will come to tell you today that you are free to heal and start that process fresh today if you need to. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you have a beautiful day on purpose. Talk to you tomorrow.